All right, let's talk about something that trips up so many English learners. Will versus going to. You know that feeling, right? You're in the middle of a sentence and you just pause, wondering which one to use. Well, if that's you, you're in the right place. We're going to clear this up for good.
Yep, this is the moment. That little question that just pops into your head right when you're trying to sound natural and smooth. You know exactly what you want to say, but your brain just hits a speed bump trying to pick the right word.
And you know what? That pause, it is completely normal. Almost everyone learning English feels this hesitation. You start worrying about getting it wrong, and all of a sudden the conversation feels like hard work. But the good news is, it really doesn't have to be this way.
So let me just say this right now. You are not alone in this. It's such a common thing. I mean, think about it. Native speakers aren't sitting there running through grammar rules in their heads when they talk. Nope, they just feel what's right for the situation. And that's what we're going to help you do today.
This quote right here really nails it. Fluency isn't about having perfectly polished grammar before you open your mouth. It's about connection. It's about keeping the conversation moving. And that's exactly what we're aiming for.
So how do we get there? Well, we're going to make one simple but really powerful shift. We're throwing out the complicated rules you have to memorize. Instead, we're going to start understanding the feeling behind the choice. And boom, here it is. This is the core idea. If you only remember one thing, make it this. Going to is for plans that are already made. They're already in your head. Will is for decisions that are born right in the moment of speaking. Let's break that down a bit more. Think of going to like this. The plan already exists. Let's say I ask what you're doing for dinner. You already went to the store this morning. You bought pasta, you know what you're making. The plan is set. So you say, I'm going to eat pasta tonight. The thought was there long before I asked the question. Now let's flip that. Imagine you're just chatting with your friend, and bam, the phone rings. You didn't plan for the phone to ring, right? You just react. You say, oh, I'll get it. That decision was made right there, on the spot. It's totally spontaneous. That is the feeling of will. Okay, so we've got the main idea down. Let's put it to the test and see how this actually works in some real, everyday situations. So picture this. You're just hanging out with a friend and they say, man, I'm really thirsty. You didn't see that coming. It's a new piece of information and it just happened. What's your natural gut reaction? You make an offer, right then and there. Oh, I'll get you some water. It's quick, it's helpful, it's a completely spontaneous response. And that's why will is the perfect choice there. The decision was made in that instant, so will feels natural. It just matches the speed of the moment. I'm going to get you some water would sound a little slow and strange there.
This whole idea also works for predictions. So if you look out the window and you see these huge, dark, angry-looking clouds, you have actual evidence, right? The prediction feels solid. So you'd say, wow, look at that, it's going to rain.
But what if there's no evidence? What if the sky is totally clear, but it's just your gut feeling? Or maybe you heard a weather report. In that case, it's just your opinion. You'd say, you know, I think it will rain later. See the difference? The word you choose actually signals how certain you feel.
Okay, let's be real and talk about the common mistakes. And listen, this isn't to make you nervous. It's actually the opposite. The more aware you are of these little traps, the more confident you'll be.
So here are the big two. Using will for a plan you've had all week, like meeting a friend, just sounds a little unnatural, too sudden. And on the flip side, using going to when someone drops something and you want to help, it just sounds too slow. The language has to match the energy of what's happening. And please remember this. Even if you mess up and use the wrong one, people will almost always understand you. I promise. The real goal is just to connect and communicate, not to be a perfect grammar robot. So don't let that little fear stop you from speaking up.
So how do we make this automatic? How do we turn this knowledge into a real skill that you don't even have to think about? It's all about a simple, no-pressure daily habit that builds that muscle memory. So here's what you do. Every night, just for 1 minute, ask yourself these two little questions. First, what am I already planning for tomorrow? That's your going to. You might say, I'm going to finish my report. Then ask, what might happen unexpectedly? That's your will. Like, if my boss emails me, I'll reply. Now here is the most important part. You cannot skip this. You have to say the sentences out loud. Don't just think them. Your brain, your mouth, and your ears all need to work together to practice that natural flow. This is how that feeling becomes completely automatic. So let's end on this. Fluency is all about movement, not about perfection. Your goal is just to keep the conversation going. So before you speak, just take half a second to ask yourself, is this an existing plan or is this a spontaneous decision?
That one little question will guide you to the right choice almost every single time. So keep practicing, and most importantly, keep on talking.